Hi, welcome to Daddy's Toy Kingdom. So, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is finally here. The movie that we've been waiting for months is finally in theaters. Go see it now. I want to talk about what I thought of the movie and just give you my opinions on certain aspects of the movie, like the characters and the plot. And I'm going to recommend you go see the movie because I'm going to have some spoilers in here along the way. So, just as a precaution, I'm going to start from the beginning and kind of work my way through. So the beginning of the movie is probably the best scene in the movie. We are introduced to some people that are trying to find the remains of the Indominus Rex from Jurassic World. And they use this cute little submarine and they go underwater, they open up the gates to where the Mosasaurus is, and they just kind of assume all the dinosaurs are dead. And they kind of run into the fact that the dinosaurs are not really dead the hard way. We kind of have a little Mosasaurus action. We got some T-Rex action. We have a storm. It's the perfect Jurassic Park mix. Oh, it's beautiful. What a wonderful scene. All the action pieces, the tension, the fact that you don't know who's going to live or die. It's a great opening sequence. And I remember when it ended, I was like, oh, I hope the whole movie is like this. And I didn't quite get my wish, but I'd say there are 2 or 3 action sequences that are almost as good. In fact, the scene at the end of the first act is probably one of the better scenes. Then we have the scene at the end of the movie where Blue takes on a potential villain. We won't spoil it. Yes, we will. It's the Indo Raptor. It's pretty badass. So, after the opening sequence is over and the bad guys fly away in their little helicopter, we get about 20 minutes of exposition. We gotta get the story set up. We've got Claire finding Owen. We gotta go back to the island! Why we gotta go back to the island? Because this shady, suspicious businessman said we've gotta find some dinosaurs and save them. Oh, sounds like a good idea to me. So they find 2 plucky new sidekicks, Zia and Franklin, and they take them on a plane and they fly all the way back to Isla Nublar. And the new sidekick characters, Zia and Franklin, they're pretty cool. They have some nice dialogue together. You can kind of tell from the beginning, I'm pretty sure these characters aren't in much danger. We kind of need them to be funny as comic relief. So in terms of tension in are these characters actually in danger, you never quite feel that throughout the whole movie. You know that they're just going to have a zany comment or a wacky side glance at each other. But those characters are okay. I think they're interesting enough and they're funny. They're effective at what they're there for. But, so the 4 of them, Claire, Owen, Zia, Franklin, they get on a plane and they fly to Jurassic World where it's about to be destroyed by a huge volcano. So all the dinosaurs are in danger. They're all going to die unless we go and save them. So Shady Businessman has an army of soldiers and we don't know if they're good guys or bad guys. That is until you see the very first shot of one of the soldiers, who's played by Ted Levine, who is Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs. He's making a face that looks a little bit like this. Directly at the camera. So, 3 seconds after you see him, you're like, oh, that's a bad guy. And he's probably gonna die. Probably horribly. And fortunately, the movie does not wait until the 3rd act to reveal that the shady businessman is a shady businessman. Within 5 minutes of meeting our characters, they drive him to the middle of the jungle and they betray them. They're like, oh, I'm actually a bad guy. Did you know that? And then he shoots him and he's just laying in the field. It's like, oh, I'm gonna take Blue, I'm gonna shoot him with this tranquilizer, and I'm gonna rub the lotion on his skin and take him in the basket. So Ted Levine takes him and leaves Owen in the middle of a field where he's about to be eaten by lava. And all the other characters are either going to be killed by lava or dinosaurs. There's a nice little a scene with Claire and Franklin as they're in there trying to type numbers into a computer, trying to get doors to open up and characters to get off the island. And then a big dinosaur, I believe it's a Baryonyx, correct me in the comments, I dare ya. So the Baryonyx comes through a tunnel and he's getting lava dripped on his face, which, lava is not hot water. It doesn't just hurt, it's gonna burn right through your face. But nonetheless, the dinosaur comes very close to eating them, and we get some funny banter, they get away, and they find themselves to probably the best action set piece of the movie besides the opening. So the characters find their way to a glass ball from the first movie, the gyrosphere, And at first I'm like, oh, come on, don't tell me that thing's gonna work. And it doesn't. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, it doesn't have any power. It is on a really steep hill, so what happens? On a steep hill with a big ball, it rolls down. And this ball starts building momentum, and there's dinosaurs, there's Triceratops, and Stegosaurus, and a Carnotaurus, and possibly some Gallimimus, and Paracephalosaurus, and all the other dinosaurs that they sold toys of. Oh, you're like, oh, I know him. I know that one. Bye-bye. Okay, they're jumping off a cliff now. They're trying to get away from the lava. Volcanoes shooting fireballs. And Chris Pratt outruns the dinosaurs. And I found out that Chris Pratt, or Owen, is faster than dinosaurs in a gyrosphere, and it flies off a 500-foot cliff into the water, and it starts filling up. And then all of a sudden, Owen is in the water. How did he survive that fall without any protection and dinosaurs falling? Anyway, he uses a gun, he tries to blow it open, then he swims up to the surface for some reason, comes back down with the knife he already had, and pries the door open, and then they get out, and then they're all fine. So Claire, Franklin, and Owen are all okay. Z has been kidnapped by Ted Levine. He's like, I'm gonna take you on this boat now, and we're gonna take the dinosaurs back to the shady businessman. So they take the dinosaurs on the boat back to the shady businessman, and one of the funnier scenes in the movie is they're trying to give Blue a blood transfusion because one of the stupid soldiers shot him. Oh no! And so they have to give him a blood transfusion from the T-Rex. And so they climb into the T-Rex's little cage, and they have to jump on top of him, and the T-Rex is snoring, and he's like, and he's thrashing around. And then they have some funny banter, they get some blood from the T-Rex, and they wake him up, and then they're like, hee hee hee, that was pretty fun. They high-five each other, it's all cool. And so after that, they save Blue, and then apparently when you get shot in the leg, you have 100% full strength as soon as the bullet's taken out, because Blue never shows any sign of being injured through the rest of the movie. I'm an awesome dinosaur, you sure are. But they get to the shore, and they find out they've been double-crossed. They're like, hey, these dinosaurs are supposed to go to a refuge. They're like, nope, we're gonna sell them to the highest bidder. This is an auction! So they take the dinosaurs back to this really fancy mansion, where if you've been paying any attention, you know is probably going to be the action set piece for the third act. I didn't realize it's gonna be the entire set for the second half of the movie. So the first half is kind of Jurassic World. The second half is some dude's house. And it's kind of like it's more like a horror movie or like a ghost movie where everybody's trying to escape the monsters. But you got all these dinosaurs in the basement and all these rich businessmen upstairs trying to auction them off. Oh yeah, and along the way, the shady businessman has a girl in his custody who happens to be the daughter, or excuse me, the granddaughter of one of the investors of the original Jurassic Park. But she's not really his granddaughter, she's a clone of his daughter, and so they kind of brush over that, and she just gets to be Scared Girl, who is in one really good scene with the Indo Raptor, who crawls in, who escapes from the shady auction. So Owen stops the auction using a Stygiomach, who's using his head, knocking down walls. He goes through and knocks everybody over. Whoops! Out comes the Indo Raptor, who has a very funny scene with Ted Levine. Bye-bye, Ted Levine. Where he has a habit of collecting teeth from dinosaurs, so he gets into the cage with the Indo Raptor. He's like, I'm gonna take the tooth out of your mouth now. Indo Raptor's like, literally looks at the camera and like laughs, twirls his mustache, and bites his arm off. And then he mauls him, and everyone's all scared. And then there's a funny scene where the other auctioneers, the shady businessmen, are in the elevator, and the Indo Raptor whips the button with his tail, opens up, eats them all. It's hilarious, promise you. So, after that, Indo Raptor escapes up into the mansion, opens the window of Scared Little Girl, climbs in through the window, and then he's about to grab her in her bed when Blue jumps in, saves the day, because he is the hero of the movie. Other than that Stygiomach, he's a big hero too. So, Blue and that Stygiomach, you are stars number 1 and 2 of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Gold star, silver star. They save the little girl. Owen and Claire, they lead the Indo Raptor up to the roof of the building. They have a big fight. Indo Raptor ends up falling through a window and impaling himself on a Triceratops skull. Aw, Indo Raptor, we hardly knew ye. Oh, so the dinosaurs all the way at the end of the movie, after the Indo Raptor's dead, turns out there's a toxic gas leaking through the basement, and Franklin's like, I'm a computer guy, but I can't solve this problem. This little girl's like, everybody move aside, hits a red button, and dinosaurs escape into North America. And so Dr. Ian Malcolm, played by Jeff Goldblum, says, life finds a way, and we're gonna have to deal with these dinosaurs. Welcome to Jurassic World. And so we see a T-Rex roar at a lion. We see Blue looking at some nice suburban houses and going, can't wait to get there in the next movie. Nice big tease for Jurassic World 3. And ooh, after the credits, we've got some suspicious activity in Las Vegas. So we'll find out what happens in the next movie. The theater was packed. There's gonna be a Jurassic World 3. Deal with it, enjoy it. It's gonna be a blast. Thoughts and impressions. I honestly thought this movie was a bit of a roller coaster. It had its ups and its downs. The ups were way up here and the downs were like 20 straight minutes of talking and exposition. I really loved the opening scene, building up a reason for the characters to go back to the island where they were nearly killed. It reminded me of the Lost World Jurassic Park where they convinced Ian Malcolm to go back. It's like, oh, he wouldn't really go back, but they did, and they get him to go back. But you know, Blue is a good reason. They really convinced Chris Pratt, Owen, Star-Lord to go back and try to save Blue. That's a good reason. So there's just 20 minutes they could have cut out some of that talk with the shady businessman and trying to pretend like he's a good guy. They should just said this guy's a bad guy and he's fooling everybody. So they wasted about 20 minutes trying to fool you. After the dinosaurs get off Jurassic World, the volcano erupts and they're on the boat. I think the movie slowed back down. I think there was a little too much focus on trying to show us just how bad the bad guys are, and how much the bad guys are supposed to be ruthless and we're supposed to hate them. And when they inevitably get eaten, we're not supposed to feel so bad. So Blue is really the best character in the movie. She has a huge character development from the first movie, where she's more of a wild animal who turns on Owen, comes back, but doesn't really show a whole lot of intelligence or depth. In this movie, she shows extreme intelligence, compassion, understands who is helping her and who is not, and Blue just comes off being a huge action hero, which is a long way from Jurassic Park and how scary they were. You're like, where is Blue? I can't wait to see Blue. So good job. Everybody loves Blue. The T-Rex, everyone's waiting for that T-Rex to show up. The T-Rex is really there for big moments. It doesn't have a lot of character development. It's there to scare you. It's there to be like, yeah, it's a T-Rex! Yeah! And it does have a lot of those moments too. Mosasaurus, they build up this huge escape for the creature. Oh my god, it got out, and we only see 3 seconds of it at the end of the movie. Mosasaurus better be a big part of Jurassic World 3, I'm telling ya! That's my favorite thing from the first movie with the shark and all the fun stuff, and we need more Mosasaurus. Please, more Mosasaurus. Can't wait. So the villainous dinosaur in the movie, or monster, it's not really a dinosaur, they use the bones of the Indominus Rex from Jurassic World to create the Indo Raptor, which is a smaller, darker version of Indominus Rex that looks a little bit more like a raptor and less like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. This character is very intelligent, it's very ruthless, it actually plans traps, it has schemes, and has one of the funniest scenes in the movie, intentional or not, where it does kill the evil military general, Ted Levine. Yeah, get someone and pull truth out. And I think I mentioned that previously. Indo Raptor is very frightening. It's a scary character. They only introduce the character halfway through the movie and where it becomes the main villain. Other than the human characters, it's the main threat. But Indo Raptor has some very scary scenes. After it escapes, it does have some very intelligent moments where it opens up the window and tries to attack the girl. It stalks them through a little museum full of dinosaurs. It has some great moments where it is using its intelligence to track and kill the heroes, but is unsuccessful. But when it's tracking and killing the villains, it works every time. It's amazing how that happens. Indo Raptor, I think it's really cool. It has bright red eyes. It's really scary. They do teased that Indo Raptor was only the beta version and that they've got more versions planned. They kidnapped Dr. Wu again to make him make more evil dinosaurs, probably for the third movie. So we're going to see more versions of this Indo Raptor or Indominus Rex in the future, most likely. In Jurassic World 3, my hope, my vision of what the movie's going to be, we're going to have competing companies making their own dinosaurs. We're going to have miniature dinosaurs. We're going to have like bonsai dinosaurs in bottles. And then we're going to have one company making accurate dinosaurs with feathers. That's the company I'd invest in. So I hope we're going to see some crazy variations of different dinosaurs, just to kind of a takeoff on how we have one new product come out and then we have a million versions of that new product. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where they go with it. I think that's the direction they're going to take it. So look back in about 4 years at this video where I say there's going to be feathered dinosaurs in Jurassic World 3. I want a feathered T-Rex. I want that toy. Make it. Anyway, I do feel that the dialogue was funny at times. The side characters, as I mentioned, Zia and Franklin, they're a welcome addition, but you never feel like they're in any danger. The bad guys, you know, are going to die by the end of the movie. They set them up to be so villainous that there's just no way they're gonna make it. I don't think there were any moments that were truly shocking. There were some moments like the appearance of the T-Rex. The T-Rex's final appearance to make his final kill was a little surprising. It came out of nowhere. You didn't see it or hear it coming. She just kind of was standing there, and you wonder how that character didn't see the T-Rex standing there. It's huge, but it was a great moment. And honestly, I think if I gave this movie a rating out of 10, I would give it a good 7.5. I think it was a lot of fun. You're going to laugh at the funny parts. You're going to be excited during the action sequences. But at the end of the day, I do think that the movie could have benefited from a little bit of tension, some stakes for the main characters. You really are just kind of watching heroes be heroes, and there's no risk at all for them to lose their lives or lose anything at all, basically. The main male hero, the main female hero, they have the inevitable arc that brings them together. There's absolutely no question that's going to happen. So there's only the real emotional piece that comes from the little girl and how her kind of twisted existence is kind of set up with this evil, shady businessman, and how Claire and Owen kind of come into her life. It's really sweet and tender, and that comes off pretty well. So anyway, I do recommend you go see the movie. I've been looking forward to it for a long time, and I can't wait to see the next one. I'm very excited to see another movie featuring dinosaurs. Everything in this movie was great. The special effects even were better than the first Jurassic World. In that movie, they were kind of like cloudy, blurry dinosaurs. In this movie, they look like living, breathing creatures. Their skin shakes. You can see water dripping off. When their toes move, you can see them kicking rocks. It's great. It looks really good. So if you just love special effects, if you love anything about the magic of movie making, this is going to be a movie you're going to love. So thank you very much for watching my synopsis and review of Jurassic World. I hope you enjoyed your time. Hope you enjoyed me talking a little bit about the movie and the characters and the new monster dinosaur. So anyway, if you like this video, please make sure to click that like button. If you have any feedback or you have any opinions on what I should talk about in future videos, by all means, leave a comment below. If you're a subscriber, make sure you ring that bell to get updates on my future videos. Thank you very much for watching Daddy's Toy Kingdom. Bye, everybody. Hi, I'm gonna teach you like I taught Blue. Spoilers, happens in the movie. Just kidding.